probably just leave it up there and let them.
Handheld so that as you're doing the whole thing, because you're turning and you're pressing them, so you're moving away from it.
Okay.
So
I'll just turn it off. It's like, do you think everybody else is fine? Just
everybody else should be fine if they're going to be addressing the audience and they're going to have to do stuff. Okay? Excellent.
Anthony Kaysen, our interim provost, will do the welcome.
Wanted to make sure we have sound. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? I'm Anthony Kaysen, interim provost for Health Sciences campus here, and I want to welcome everybody here today, and just here to bring you greetings. And does everyone know what next week is? Somebody said Cinco de Mayo? So, National Nurses Week. So what an appropriate time to have a pinning ceremony for our wonderful graduates today to be entering into the world of nursing, leading into National Nurses Week. I think that deserves a round of applause. And maybe y'all can celebrate on Cinco de Mayo. I was reading an article today that I thought was very appropriate. A gentleman was basically paying homage to nurses and saying how important they are, and talking about his life and some of his poor choices with eating and how it led to several things, and how were it not for nurses and their caring support over the many years, that he probably wouldn't be here today. And it was a very touching article, and I thought it was very appropriate for a day like today. So I just want to say to the friends and families, look, your loved ones here today have done something amazing. They're going to go out and have an amazing impact into the world of health, because we really need nurses more than ever. And I think we all should be very proud of them. And to you all, congratulations to you. You're going to do some amazing things out in the world of nursing. So we thank you very much, and thank you all.
everyone. My name's Hannah, for those of you that don't know me. I'm so honored to speak with you today and to just be here with this class. I first wanted to say that each person I've had the chance to work with has been so wonderful, and I can easily tell that patients will be in good hands. I would trust y'all to take care of me or my family, and loved ones, you should be very proud of them. They worked hard, and y'all should be proud of yourselves too. So before we start today, if you'll please join me in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for blessing us with the chance to be here together and to celebrate this moment. Thank you for each of our fellow classmates, for the friendships we formed, our instructors, and for all of our loved ones here today that have helped us achieve this goal. I ask that you please bless each of the students here. Please bless each of them as they go out into their careers. Bless the patients that we'll see and help us to remember this excitement of today and why we wanted to take this path to begin with. Thank you for being the gracious God that you are, and thank you for all that you've done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hey friends, I am delighted to be in this room with you for the final time. Friends and family, welcome to our home away from home. We're ending this week with a piece of paper and a technological nod to the Board of Nursing that we are prepared to sit for our licensure exam and begin practicing as registered nurses. Before we consider what that means for us, I want to speak directly to everyone here supporting the graduates. What your loved one has done has been extraordinary. They have endured hundreds of hours of lectures, spent actual lifetimes reading textbooks and taking notes. They have stepped so far beyond their comfort zone in clinicals. The sheer tonnage of information that they have synthesized and committed to memory would stun a team of oxen. And Lord, but they've managed to do all of this while being so beautiful with a devastating sense of humor. This is also not the end of the journey for them. They will be starting new jobs, facing the daunting task of caring for patients without clinical instructors, or the safety net phrase, "Let me go get the nurse." They'll start BSN programs and give more time to their education. And I'm saying all of this because they'll still need your generous love and support. It turns out that life, like nursing, is a team sport. And to that end, graduates, can we take a moment to give our loved ones a little public display of gratitude? A round of applause for them. Nursing school is an interesting thing to graduate from. There are loads of second career students in this program, along with students who made the decision to go to nursing school while still in high school. Because that's what this is. It's a decision. My first degree was in history, which was a dream of a degree. I selected classes that were interesting to me, found I was heavy in history, and declared a major. You can just find yourself obtaining a liberal arts degree. You don't find a nursing degree. You seek it out with intention and purpose, and those are powerful tools to carry with you into clinical spaces and the wilds of your life. I haven't studied all of history, but I've studied enough to pretty confidently suggest that meaningful change or impact requires people armed with intention and purpose. Interestingly, there's a medical specific definition of intention: the healing process of a wound. It is not too brazen to propose that this room contains the potential for remarkable healing of our patients, of our communities, of our world. We have spent considerable time learning to advocate for patients. That same advocacy muscle that will continue to strengthen in clinical practice can also be used to heal whatever brokenness speaks to your soul. Don't let your nursing practice be limited to medication administration or the walls of the hospital. Let it inform the way you read the news and the way you look out for your neighbor. It is the stuff of goosebumps to think about the power that lies just below the surface of a group of people who can articulate the things that they are passionate about: food security, preventative care, clean water, access to green spaces, whatever your thing is, and turn together as one to face it and agree to run full out after it. I encourage all of us to find the people whose hearts beat for the same thing and use our collective voice to make this a kinder, healthier, more just world. Remember, our voice is the most trusted profession in the country. Use that power for good. In preparation for the road ahead, I've asked several beloved veteran nurses to share with me the pieces of wisdom that they would pass along if they had the absolute privilege of speaking to our class. Patricia Mook shared a Florence Nightingale quote, "I attribute my success to this. I never gave or took any excuse." Phyllis Justice advised us to be curious and ask questions, give yourself and others grace, that we within ourselves have a lot of wisdom. Stephanie McDonald encouraged us to say yes, that nursing has more to offer than we can imagine, to not let fear or doubt prevent you from exploring all there is. Her Florence quote is, "Let us never consider ourselves finished nurses. We must be learning all our lives." The most important nursing mentor in my life, my mother, stresses what Florence Nightingale called the art and science of nursing. Florence had this to say, "Nursing is an art, and if it is to be made an art, it requires as exclusive a devotion, as hard a preparation as any painter's or sculptor's work. For what is the having to do with dead canvas or dead marble compared to having to do with a living body, the temple of God's Spirit? It is one of the fine arts. I had almost said the finest of the fine arts." I love that. It's such a beautiful way to frame this work. I've never been especially artistic, but here we are with Florence placing us among sculptors and painters. The science of nursing involves practicing a kind of art that carves out space for the holy and sacred among the ordinary and ugly. And isn't that really what art is about when it's at its best? And this is the kind of sacred work that transcends religion and moves into the holy unknown, the kind of work that taps into the mysteries of the universe and the soul and walks beside people as they navigate the thin spaces of this life. It is heady stuff, to be sure. I am still in disbelief that we won't be back in here on Tuesday, that this pace won't just continue forever. But looking at you, I'm blown away by all you've carried these past few years. To the parents who kept their kids priority number one this entire time, the students who worked part-time jobs and full-time jobs, nimbly juggling your calendars. Most of us are heading to area hospitals where we'll work 3 12s a week, which honestly sounds like winning the lottery. But your days will still fill up the way you fill up all of the closet space and every drawer in the kitchen, no matter how much storage you have. So my final challenge to us is to be as intentional with our life ahead as we have been with nursing school. Journalist and speaker Kari Anderson wrote in the Harvard Business Review, "Whatever we focus upon actually wires our neurons. Consciously changing what you pay attention to can rewire your brain from a negative orientation to a positive one." She goes on to talk about how research shows the role that culture plays in shaping the patterns of attention we've been laying since birth. And Western culture tends to see isolated objects rather than the connections between objects. There's another big takeaway from these studies. What you do or do not pay attention to has an effect on how you see the world and experience it. I find that to be very powerful and inspiring. We can control how we experience the world. The poet Mary Oliver, wise woman that she was, gave us hundreds of guides for navigating life, including this one called Don't Hesitate. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate, give in to it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Still, life has some possibility left. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything, but very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. And anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. Joy is not made to be a crumb, friends. And it is my sincere hope for all of us that we cultivate an abundance of joy in our lives, that we work to make our little piece of the planet fundamentally good, that we are courageous enough to remain vulnerable and engaged enough to stay curious, open to where our nursing journey takes us and where life takes us. In the immortal words of Harvard Law graduate Elle Woods, congratulations, class of 2024, we did it!
Heyo. I am going to read a poem that I wrote for one of our nursing assignments titled A Nurse. A nurse wears many hats all at once. The tall tower is placed from the moment they step on the floor. A custodian keeping the environment clean to promote healing. A caretaker providing every need for the patient, family, and team. A transporter running patients to the ICU hoping to get there in time. A friend cheering them on during treatment. A family member holding their hand as they take their last breath. A comedian getting a kid to laugh while labs are being drawn again and again. A therapist listening to the concerns and cries of someone just diagnosed with cancer. A grim reaper to the family telling them we did everything we could. A healer restoring their mind and body. A teacher growing a new generation of nurses. A nurse is the definition of giving the shirt off the back to those in need during a blizzard. A plate overwhelming while taking more shifts to help their team during a shortage. An empty glass desperately trying to find water while still giving every drop. A hypocrite telling everyone to take care of themselves, but they themselves are running on empty. A nurse is drawn and quartered, trying to balance family, mental health, patients, and their home. But a nurse loves their job. They love hearing the first breath of a newborn, love hear the bell ringing as the patient states that they are cancer-free, love when a patient finally gets to go home after months and months of treatment, love when a family member hugs them and thanks them for doing everything. I am a nurse. I love seeing my stroke patients learn how to walk again. I love seeing long-lost family members become reconnected. I love my team that continually fills my cup. I love hearing a patient's laugh for the first time in days. A nurse wears many hats, high and proud. Thank you.
Okay. Congratulations to the May 2024 Martha Mann Smith School of Nursing graduating student nurses. I can honestly say, just validate what Madeline said, that nursing school is one of the hardest things any of us will ever do. It's extremely challenging. You all have grown and adapted and gotten to the finish line. Yay! It's not the end of your education though. Just the beginning of a new chapter. You got lifelong learning and an amazing and rewarding career. And, remember, we've got some former grads who are on faculty as adjuncts and full-time faculty. So go get those degrees and come on back. Be proud of your hard work and resilience that has gotten you to this point. We are just so proud of you all. Congratulations. And it's been mentioned already, you didn't get here alone. Your friends and family and significant others have been on that roller coaster ride that is nursing school right along with you. Agreed? Roller coaster ride, you all out there? It's tough for everybody, so you all deserve a trophy as well. And I want to recognize our faculty. We have a very dedicated full-time and part-time faculty who make the program what it is. Would you all stand for just a moment? Thank you. Next, I would like to recognize our clinical affiliations, Wake Med, UNC Rex, and Big UNC, Duke Raleigh, and Holly Hill. I know we have at least one administrator, Julie from Rex. Thank you so much for coming. We could not offer, we could not offer such great clinical experiences without their continued support with clinical space and preceptors. Do we have any preceptors in the audience with us today that took care of our seniors? Maybe too shy to stand up. Thank you for all that you do. Also, I would like to recognize our Wake Tech administrators who are able to be with us today, Dr. Scott Rawls, Mr. Anthony Kaysen, who you've already met, and Dr. Nicole Reeves. Thanks for helping us maintain and grow our programs. And I would like to give a big shout out to our Associate Dean for Nursing and Clinical Coordinator, Miss Becky Harris, and our Program Director for the PN program, Leslie Johnson. She's also coordinating pinning. And the amazing Assistant to the Dean, Amber Hennett, without whom we would be in trouble. So today, our students will be receiving a red rose, which represents the compassion nurses must possess in the delivery of patient care. We would like to thank Duke Health Raleigh for their donation of the roses. And y'all don't get poked when you pick up your rose. Students will also receive a lantern. We know that when Florence Nightingale went into the battlefields to care for the wounded and sick during the war, she carried a lantern, and each graduate will receive this traditional nurse's lantern. And finally, the lantern is a symbol of promise that we make as nurses to aid the sick, the injured, and the needy. And we would like to thank UNC Rex for donating the lanterns. And finally, you'll receive your Martha Mann Smith School of Nursing pin. The pinning ceremony dates back to the 1860s when Florence Nightingale, whose birthday is Nurses Day, was honored with the Red Cross of St. George for her selfless efforts to the injured men during the war. Because she believed in acknowledging a job well done, she presented a Medal of Excellence to her nursing graduates, and we carry on this acknowledgement today. A nursing pinning ceremony isn't just a tradition, it's an important symbol of nursing students' hard work and dedication. And most importantly, this pivotal moment represents their transition from student to full-fledged nurse. Yay! We would like to express our gratitude to Wake Med for donating the pins for our ceremony. Congratulations, graduates. I am so proud to call you a colleague. And now, will the marshals please rise and lead our students around to get their pins? Come on up, faculty. It's a big group. All right. Maggie Amato. Karen Aponte, Jennifer Arteaga, Brianna Bars, Nyla Berry, Myla Bart, Victoria Bentonker, Hanshan Banushali, Hannah Blackwelder, Madeline Burgess, thank you for that wonderful speech.
No problem.
Tessa Burns, Weston Butcher, Gabriella Cantineri, Eric Cardenas Estrada, Samantha Casey, Shelby Chervenko, Meredith Cochran, Bianca Carolina Contreras, Marianne Cunningham, Aylin Dank, Camille Dickerson, Jennifer DeBrule, Mary Elaine Farlow, Eric Fleming, Joy Antoinette Fondevilla, Brianna Glover, Haley Haskins, Alexis Hawkins, Leela Hayes, Noelle Heath, Hannah Huertas, Varsha Iyer, Helen Jimenez, Stephanie Jimenez Garcia, Madison Kepschul, Misha Lee, Ping Lu, Caitlin Mars, Beth McCarthy, Beatrice Mendez Flores, Madeline, I don't think you have to worry about them having joy today. We're good. That's a good thing. Theo Mick. Stormy Monk. Ina Nete. Ogechi Angel Oswagu. Tashera Onyanyan. I blew it. Couldn't read my writing. Sorry about that. Shivani Patel. Brooke Elizabeth Rice. Whose mom is in the crowd and a 2014 grad. Just fun fact. Annie Robbins. Kaylee Sanders. Savannah Salim.
Yeah.
Lilia Signoretti. Lauren Sorrell. Anne-Marie Strickland. Shelby Swanner. Elizabeth Tellez Ramos. Alexandra Tenbrook. Julia Vasaturo. Esmeralda Villegas Reyes. Amy Vollmer, poet extraordinaire. And last, but certainly not least, Sydney Ray Wooten. Congratulations.
Thank you. I would love to. Let me
Here,
stop.
right here. Oh, Lordy. This class. We didn't say anything about dignified, did we? Joyful. Joyful is the theme. Okay, the class will now recite the Nightingale Pledge. job, group. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Scott Ross for the closing remarks. Thank you, Dr. Ross.
Good afternoon. What a joyous occasion, and congratulations to the 2024 graduates of the Martha Mann Smith School of Nursing. You know, we've been together 30 minutes. I feel like we know each other personally now. We've been hugging and doing other things. So I'll tell you something personal. This was a big week for me because I had one of those birthdays, you know, the kind of seminal birthdays that has the 0 on the end that causes you to reflect. I know I don't look an age, I look like I'm 40, I know, but you all laugh too quickly at that. But, and when you reach a certain point, you know, sometimes you have to have perspective. So I want to talk just in closing a little bit about perspective. One of the things stepping out for me and thinking about that where I am now is I realize that I think, and in my mind's eye, I'm a much younger person than I really am, and my aches and everything demonstrate that. And I also realize that I do things now. You've seen that commercial about, you know, you become your parents. Well, my boys say I become their grandparents the way I act. And one of the things I realize I do a lot now is I tell stories. My colleagues would say, you know, whether they want to hear them or not, because I'm going to tell them. And so I thought, you know, I need to accept myself. So let me start by telling you a story real quick. A few years ago, I was president of another college, and I remember a colleague saying to me something. It was during this week, it was during graduation week, it was right before the pinning ceremony. He made a comment and said, you know, that nursing department, they think the pinning ceremony is just the end-all be-all. It's the everything, you know? And, you know, and I didn't really challenge or say anything. But later I was driving home that day and I thought, you know, thinking about it, the nursing department's really right, you know, because this is a ceremony that transcends other ceremonies. Even, don't tell anybody tomorrow's even transcending graduation to a certain extent. And I think Madeline's remarks really put it in perspective. You know, one of those reasons that was noted, this may not be the main reason, but it's difficult. It is difficult. It's difficult to get into nursing school. When I'm around town, you know, people say, tell me about their relatives or kids or somebody who's trying to get into nursing school here. And I just look at my shoes because they're looking to see if I can do something about it, and I can't, you know. But as difficult as it is to get in, you know so well, it is difficult to get out. And so that's a celebration for those 6, you know, you talked about the days in this room. I don't think you're going to miss this room, even though you may miss the people here. But that's not really the most important reason why this transcends maybe even graduation, because graduation is a celebration of accomplishment like this. It's a celebration where you are actually leaving behind. You're leaving behind Wake Tech. What this is, though, is a ceremony about entering into the most noble of all professions. And, you know, Madeline's comments, again, I think I was thinking about that. You mentioned Florence Nightingale talking about the temple of the body. And I think one of the things that you've learned since you've been here is not just the what's and the hows, but the whys. And I really want to credit your outstanding faculty for that, because you have to have the what's. You have to know the hows, the procedures, the processes. But most importantly, you have to know the why of nursing. Florence Nightingale talked about the temple of the body. It made me think about, you know, the story of the man who comes along and he sees 3 different workers essentially doing the same job, but totally different way of doing it, totally different perspective. And he walked up to one man and asked, what are you doing? He said, I'm laying brick. And he was moving a little slower. The next man was moving a little faster. He was doing, you know, and they asked the man, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm building a wall. And the third gentleman he walked up to, he said, you know, he noticed he was stepping back. He was moving fast. He was moving with a sense of purpose. He asked, what are you doing? He said, I'm building a cathedral. You know, it's a matter of perspective, and I want to thank your great faculty for giving you the perspective of not just the hows and the whats of nursing, but also the whys. And I want to thank your family and friends for helping you get to that place and overcoming all of those difficult days and nights, and encouraging you to do things that you didn't think you could or would be able to do to reach this point. But finally, I really want to congratulate you and thank you for choosing to be a nurse. And that was another thing that Madeline's comments really so aptly said, because she talked about the intentionality, and it's the intentionality of the choice. You know, Amy, in her poem, she noted all the ways we see nurses. And we place nurses on a pedestal in our society. I hope we do. We should. You know, some have said angels and scrubs. It's a different profession from all professions. And sometimes nurses are referred to as the ground troops of healthcare, but I really think you're the leaders of healthcare, because leaders are people who, in our times of most vulnerability, give us confidence that we wouldn't have otherwise, and encourage us to take a next step that we may not do without their encouragement. And that's what nurses do at the times when we're most vulnerable, at the times when we need it the most. And I know now that I've reached this point in my life, I'm going to be seeing probably a lot more of you in the future than even I've seen you in the next couple. And one of the things I know for sure that I am completely confident that I know that I hope when I next see a nurse and I really need a nurse, I hope it's a Wake Tech nurse, because I'm pretty confident in who's been involved and how they've helped you get to this point. And I want to thank you on behalf of Wake Tech, first for choosing Wake Tech, but most importantly, choosing to be a nurse and choosing to support our society in a way that others do not. So congratulations to the 2024 graduates of the Wake Tech Martha Mann Smith School of Nursing. We're so very proud of each of you.